welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, please do subscribe to the channel if you're watching this on the catch-up, and give this video a thumbs up because it all helps with the algorithm and helps this channel get seen and gets grown, and you get more from me, basically, because you get to follow me if you're interested. What do I talk about on this channel? So I cover a lot of different subjects, from Reiki, mindfulness, meditation, ways of helping your mental health, ways of dealing with depression, anxiety, the various things that we often come across in everyday life. I also cover things such as hypnotherapy, because I am a hypnotherapist as well as EFT, which are both really, really effective tools to support your mental health and to support your energetic life as well, and the various aspects that take place within within our everyday lives. But today I wanted to cover a subject about Reiki, and I wanted to talk about using crystals with Reiki and the effectiveness of them. So crystals, I do have a lot of content on this channel about crystals as well. So crystals came into my life after I started meditating. But before I learned Reiki, I was very drawn to crystals. I saw a lot of stuff on social media, on the internet, in magazines. There was a lot of stuff that was just sort of like gravitating in my awareness that I was seeing in everyday existence. And I thought, is this something the universe is trying to tell me, that I need to start maybe looking into crystals? I started following a few people on YouTube that work with crystals predominantly. They do energy healing, but they also work with crystals. So I started watching Vibes and Frequencies, a young guy on there. And I watched a lot of Mark Biersky as well. And he sells a lot of crystals on his website. And he also runs courses and things to do with energy healing. And I have bought quite a few of his products over the years, such as Palo Santo sticks, his negative energy cleansing sticks, things like that. So I have bought a lot of stuff off him over the years. And but yeah, crystals is something that I kind of like. They kind of just gravitated towards me, and so I wanted to find out a little bit about them, more about what these things are, these strange little stones and gems and rocks. James, hi, how are you? I'm doing very well, thank you. How are you? Welcome to the live, welcome to the chat. We're just talking about crystals today. We talk about crystals and Reiki and using them together in conjunction during a healing session, and how we can use them. So crystals are something that I came across after I'd started meditating, but before I learned Reiki. And I just felt very, very drawn to them from all the information that I was reading and seeing. So I went out and bought a few. You're doing okay? Good. Thank you, James. I'm glad you're well. I'm glad you're doing okay. So I went out and bought a few. Basically just your easy starter crystals, just to sort of like get a feel for them. So I got amethyst, I got clear quartz, I got citrine, I got a red jasper, I got an obsidian. I got about maybe 5 or 6 crystals just to start with, just to have a look at them and just to say, like, sort of see what they're all about, see what all the fuss is about, because there was a lot of people that were talking about crystals. A lot of people still do, and I still use them occasionally. But there was a lot of people that were talking about crystals, and so I just wanted to know more about them. I wanted to know their effectiveness, what they do, what am I meant to feel from them, how am I meant to work with them. So I did a lot of that sort of exploration work when I started using crystals, and a lot of that information as well that I've shared here on this channel as well. So if any of this sort of resonates and you feel drawn to it, do please subscribe to the channel and check out that information out. Check out my crystals and crystal healing playlist, because there's a lot of stuff on that playlist. Saket Kumar, Om Namah Shivaya, welcome. So one of the channel members recently commented on one of my videos where I was thinking about new content and what to talk about and what to do, and it said, like, how about doing a video about talking about crystals and how you can use crystals alongside Reiki. So I thought, okay, you know what, I'll do a video about that. But I wanted to do more. I thought I'd do more of an interactive where it's live, so we can connect one-to-one. As you know, I have been doing a lot more lives recently on the channel to get more of a one-to-one connection with you guys that come across the channel and want to know a little bit more. Niawel, hello, 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 welcome, welcome, welcome. So crystals, so let's have a look. I've got quite a few here. I will be using these crystals later today because I have a couple of distance Reiki healing clients. So I do often use crystals alongside. So they're in a little selenite dish. So selenite is a really good purifier and cleanser of negative energy. So when I'm not using crystals, Zoe, welcome back. I put them in the selenite and just let the selenite work with them and keep the vibration nice and balanced and high. So let's go through a few of what we've got here. So we've got this one, which is an opal. I think it was down as opalite, but it's opal we've got. This one we've got is looks like a carnelian. We've got black tourmaline. We've got that one. I can't even remember what that one is. I think it is possibly moonstone. We've got that one is fluorite. I think it is fluorite. I always get that one and another one mixed up that look very, very similar, but I think it's fluorite. That one's aventurine. We've got a piece of quartz tumblestone. We've got angelite. Jovit blogs. Hello, Zoe. Hello. We've got another clear quartz. Clear quartz is extremely, it's a really good all-rounder. We've got tektite, really good for shifting and absorbing and destroying negative energy. We've got a couple of tiny little pieces of citrine in that dish there. And then we've got, this is probably one of my favorites, blue lace agate. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. So you just think, well, it's tiny. It can't be that good, but it's really, really powerful. It's very, very calming. So if you have anything to do with like anxiety, if you have a lot of stress, if you get a lot of throat infections, if you have any thyroid issues, blue lace agate, meditate with it, lie back, put it on your throat. You know, and if clients ever have come to me with issues like that, blue lace agate, I'll pop it on the throat and I'll just do the Reiki session and allow the blue lace agate to do what it needs to do through the Reiki healing. So obviously they're getting the healing from the Reiki. The Reiki is helping to balance and harmonize their own energy from within. So it's allowing everything to just flow and open up within their energy field. But the blue lace agate it's got its own frequency. It's got its own gentle flow frequency that when you just add that to the Reiki, it just helps to, it's almost like it just helps to focus the energy for that specific requirement. Another really good thing to do as well, that when I'm working with clients, is I'll often lay crystals out on the table and I'll just say to them, right, which of those crystals do you feel drawn to? And then I'll say to them, once they've picked it, I'm like, well, what is it about that? What is it that you feel drawn to? What do you feel intuitively about that? Are there vibration frequency charts for different stones? Great question. You will probably be able to find a chart that does show different frequencies and different vibrations for the different crystals. So you probably will be able to find them. So what I tend to find is, when I've worked with them, what I tend to find is the darker crystals tend to have more powerful, dense energy, because they're the ones that they're kind of like your kind of like powerhouse stuff to get rid of all the shit that you don't want around. Whereas the lighter ones, the higher vibration ones, tend to be a lighter in color, because you're going up your own frequency chart. Hakeem, maybe they should use crystal dildos, for the power of the crystal can directly enter the body. They do actually have crystal dildos, believe it or not. You can actually buy them. Yes, I know, from naughty boutiques. But thank you for that. Sometimes I meditate and fly a little. Can you do that? Yes, you do. You do feel a lot lighter when you meditate, and you do sort of you can feel as though you're floating. Oh no, I was joking. Well, the joke's been thrown back to you, I'm afraid. Yeah, no, they do actually sell them, and like I see them quite a lot. Not that I buy them. I don't know why they're in my algorithm. I don't know why I'm being shown them all the time. But you do actually see a lot on, on Facebook. You get all them ads that go across like the screen for like, it's like crap stuff, shit stuff. But you usually see like crystal dildos there, or even some crystal boutiques do actually sell them. So yeah, damn, people are creative. They certainly are. They're working with the root chakra. So yeah, believe it or not, you can get them. So as I was saying, that before we were redirected down a different route, as I was saying, the darker crystals tend to be more for your heavier energy. They're kind of like your protectors, your cleansers, your cleaners, your purifiers. They're getting rid of all the shit, basically. And then the lighter ones are where you're working more up in the higher energy centers and beyond, because we have chakras that are right up, like many feet above, which are more kind of metaphysical, not connected to the body, not connected to us. Are you a person who likes to be calm and friendly? I try to be. Calm and friendly. Most people say that I'm very calm and I've got a nice energy, and I'm usually very friendly. So unless people piss me off, then I just tell them where to go. But hey ho, yin and yang. There's a great social media meme of a Buddhist monk crossing a road, and it says on there that I'm 50-50 namaste and 50-50 fuck you. So and the Buddhist monk's kind of like giving this driver of a bus the middle finger, which I think is quite poignant, and it's quite funny, really, because it's all yin and yang. No one can exist in total light. We all have dark. We all have a bit of shadow, and it just swirls around. So, but yeah, I like to be calm. I like to be friendly, and I just think treat someone else how you want to be treated. At the end of the day. Life's too short to be kind of like holding grudges and being living in anger and worry, which is a couple of the Reiki precepts anyway, is just to let go. There's no point holding on to it because it doesn't serve you any good. Could the crystals help me reach REM sleep? They can help you reach REM sleep. So REM sleep is normally I don't sleep much most nights. So there could be a few things that's going on there. There's obviously the crystals will support and they will help, but there may be some emotional issues you need to deal with, or some mental emotional issues, maybe even physical issues. You have a lot of pain. What's your body going through? Is there anything that's on your mind? What are you doing in the lead up to going to bed? Are you shutting yourself off for the night? Are you doing a little bit of meditation? Are you doing a little bit of maybe qigong, a little bit of yoga, a little bit of time to just relax everything down? So yeah, just give yourself a little bit of time. Give yourself a couple of hours. What I've found really beneficial now, and these last sort of few months, I've been putting my phone into airplane mode, and I've slept so much better. I've had really good dream work, really clear dream work. I'm not usually aware of it when I wake up, but I know that the work's taken place. So I've had much better sleep. I don't feel as disturbed by the various frequencies from the devices and what have you. And yeah, that's just something I've just started recently doing, and I have noticed a change in my overall energy when I wake up as well. I don't feel as drained from all the stuff, this toxic soup that's around us, this Wi-Fi that's always in the air around us. Please can you tell a little brief about lucid dreams? So lucid dreams, I've had many of them over the years. And so lucid dreams is usually when you're either aware of yourself and you're in this place, and whatever is taking place is taking place. But the lucid dreams that I've had, I've actually been somebody else in a different part of the world. And what I've seen and what I've experienced hasn't been from like me physically and personally here. I've been witnessing things taking place from another person. So there's an aspect of my soul, whether you want to call it soul fragmentation, soul family, there's always an aspect of us in everybody else, because we're all one at the end of the day. And basically what's happening when we're lucid dreaming, from what I've experienced, is we're just entering that frequency within your dream state. It's a little bit like REM state as well. So you're going into gamma in your brain waves, and that is where you're more open to visualize, to see, to experience, to go into this lucid state where it almost feels as though you're there and you're in that place and you're doing all of that stuff, but in actual fact you're not. You're dreaming it, but it feels so real, I've had a couple of experiences where my first main lucid dream that I can really remember, and it's funny, these things always happen when I'm Laura, welcome, good morning from Chicago. And the first main one that I remember from lucid dreaming, it's always when I've been laid on the sofa, and I've just like drifted off. But I'm always in this state where I think my eyes are open, but they're not. And the first one that I saw, it was almost like I was on a craft, I was on a ship. I wasn't on Earth, I was somewhere else. And I could see my hands were in front of me. And in front of me, I had this big sort of energetic, I suppose like maybe you could call it a computer or something like that. But it was all functioning from my touch and light. And it was all these geometric shapes. We often see geometric shapes when we're lucid dreaming as well. So there's all these different geometric shapes that I was seeing in my mind's eye, and it's always here. There's like this circle point that's always here, and we're seeing from the third eye. And basically my hands, or what I was perceiving to be my hands, was kind of like moving this board around and then pressing these different pads, and these pads would light up and activate. For me now, after thinking about it and sitting with my intuition with it after a while, it was kind of like, for me, it was like kind of light code activation that I was experiencing, what I was going through. And that was probably one of the most powerful lucid dream scenes that I've experienced. The next one after that was really powerful as well was I could see myself sat in a car, and my hands were there on a steering wheel, and I was driving along this road, and it looked like it might have been on a bridge, because it was just this one pathway, and it was very open either side, and there was trees going down this road, and there was traffic, there was people walking, and I was driving along, but I was very, very aware of somebody that was jogging. So they were in jogging attire, they had shorts on, a little vest. It was a man, he had blonde hair, he was just running along jogging, and for some reason I decided to turn the steering wheel, and I ran into him with my car, and then I kind of came out of it. But it was very, very I was like, whoa, what was that all about? And yeah, so that tends to be, when I lucid dream, that tends to be what I see and what I experience. So, if that's something that you experience, something similar, do please share in the chat box if you want to share with other people as well. Jovit blogs, how old are you, sir? I am 45. And whenever I tell people that, they always seem quite shocked. But you might not. You might think, well, you look older. I don't know. But I was just chatting to somebody this morning. They said, Mike, I can't believe you're 45. So I was like, well, do you think that placing certain crystals on parts of your body can absorb negative energy and promote healing? Yes, absolutely. I mean, that's why I offer with Reiki. With Reiki and distance Reiki, I offer crystal Reiki as well. I don't promote it as much on the website, but people are aware that I do use crystals. And crystals have a very defined energy about them, and they will absorb or release or get rid of negative energy that might be within your body, or it might be within your auric field. But they also have a very calming and balancing effect, and that's where the healing is taking place. Because you're just allowing yourself to relax. So, and we're really connecting on a natural energetic frequency through crystals and within energy healing as well. So we've also got here, we've got a moss agate. We've got, that is a shungite. Shungite, right? I want to talk about shungite a little bit. A lot of people think of shungite as just being for EMF, Wi-Fi. Years ago, I took my phone to the Apple shop, and I had a piece of shungite on the back, and it was to protect from the Wi-Fi frequencies. And it was actually stuck to the phone, and they had to put the phone into a device in the back or whatever to do whatever they had to do with it. But they couldn't get it in because of this strip of shungite that was stuck to the back. And they said, do you mind me asking what it actually is that's stuck to the back of your phone? And I said, oh, it's a piece of shungite. And I said, well, what's that? I said, oh, it's like a mineral, it's a crystal, and it absorbs Wi-Fi frequency and negative energies from digital devices. And they kind of like looked at me as if to say, what's this guy on? And they're like, well, this is a guy that works in Apple, by the way. He said, oh, well, what's EMF? And they're like, you don't know what EMF is? I'm like, well, no. I said, well, it's what all your technology sort of pushes it out, EMF. It has this frequency, this EMF. So if you put shungite or put a powerful grounding crystal with it, it'll help to absorb the negative energy that comes from the devices. I'm like, oh, I've never ever heard of that. I said, well, now you have. Give it a go. And it's funny, when my first Apple iPhone that I got, which was like iPhone 5 years and years and years ago, it was always on 3G, and I refused to use 5G, so I turned off the 5G thing on my phone, so I can't get it. So it was always on 3G, and then I upgraded my device, and it went to 4G, and there was an option to use 5G if you wanted to, but I turned that off. So it was on 4G, but I noticed as soon as it went to 4G and I was making phone calls, God, the headaches that I was getting from 4G, ridiculous. So that's why the shungite went back on it again. But shungite, I'm going to get back to my story now. I do like to go off on tangents and little stories. So the shungite, I bought this from a crystal shop that used to be in town. They've closed down now, sadly. And I wanted to get it just to give it a go because everyone was raving on about shungite. So I thought, well, I'm going to get it myself because I want to see what it's all about, and I'll give it a go and see what I get from it. So I got this piece, and I bought it, and I was carrying it through town. I was heading my way back home, and oh my God, the headache that I got from carrying this piece of shungite was ridiculous. It was worse. It was worse than the phone. But then part of me was thinking, hang on a minute. Is it that the shungite is actually working with my energy to shift all the shit out, and that's why I'm getting this really bad headache? That's what I was intuitively feeling. So I got back home, I got the shungite, and I just sat. I massaged it on my third eye, I massaged it on the temples, on the crown, the back of the head. Within minutes, that headache, whoosh, gone. Really, really fast. So I swear, but it's not just about Wi-Fi and EMF. It's also really good. So if you get a lot of stress, if you work in stress-related environments, if you have a lot of mental stuff that you can't shut off, if you can't sleep, anything like that, shungite, really, really good for just neutralizing, harmonizing, balancing, all that stuff going on in the head. AC, good morning, good morning, good morning. I tried practicing lucid dreams, but I instead get sleep paralysis and it was very scary. Yeah, so sleep paralysis is very scary. I wouldn't try and force lucid dreams. Lucid dreams will happen when you need them. What your soul, your energy knows exactly when you need to get what you need. So whether it's a download, whether it's a lucid dream, you will get exactly what you need when you need it. So don't try and force anything. Just allow it to happen. And when it does happen, give thanks, be grateful for it, because you've received and you've seen and you've experienced what you need to experience. I think if you try and force things too much, then you kind of lose a little bit of the magic. And it can push you into other places, maybe such as sleep paralysis, which has made you a little bit scared. I don't experience a lot of sleep paralysis, but when I do, it is quite scary. I don't really like it, but again, it's a brainwave frequency. It's something that we're going through to get into that place. It's a little bit. The other thing a lot of people experience before they get the sleep paralysis is that feeling of falling. You know, when you're just about to fall asleep and you think you're going to fall and then you jolt back up again. That's part of your brainwave frequencies. So and that's what's happening when you start to go into sleep paralysis. It's like you don't get the jolt, but you're like you just feel like sort of a little bit frozen. So it can be quite scary. So again, try not to force anything. Just allow it to happen as it needs to happen. But remember that the sleep paralysis, 99.9% of the time, is just you going into sleep state. It's nothing to be worried about. A lot of people say it's demons attacking you and it's all that sort of stuff. That's 0.001% chance of that happening. The majority of the time, it's just you going through your brain waves trying to get to sleep. Is there a certain way to work with the crystals, such as what to say while using them, or just set an intention? So it's both the same thing, one and the same thing. So you can say something if you want to use them for a certain thing. But again, if you're setting an intention, you're basically just saying what you want the crystal to do and how you want it to support. And that's the other thing as well. When you're getting a new crystal, if you get a brand new crystal and you don't really know what it's about, you don't know what it's going to do for you, then you can program it. You can program it to do a certain thing. So yes, shungite for me is really good for migraines. It's really good for clearing EMF and Wi-Fi. It's good for shifting negativity and all that sort, and grounding as well. But if I want that to do something else, I can program it and I can ask it to do something else. It'll only get to a certain point where it will be able to do that. I mean, it probably wouldn't help me with connecting to my higher self, or connecting to angels or anything like that, because it's kind of like a heavier frequency that it's working with, because it's shifting all the stuff that you don't need. But you can program it. You can program most crystals to do whatever you want, and a lot of the time, I think it's what you believe, what you think will be so. You will create it. You will be able to make that crystal work for you, however you want it to work. What's your thoughts on astral projection? Is it safe? Again, astral projection, something I've done a couple of times. Is it safe? I think, like I'd said to Jabez, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it, Akins earlier. As long as it's not forced. I think if you try and force something, then yeah, I just wouldn't force it. I wouldn't try to push it. Just allow it to happen. Just maybe set an intention. If you want to astral project, if it doesn't happen and you don't get what you wanted, doesn't matter. Just let it go. The thing is as well, we're not always meant to be astral projecting. We're not always meant to be in that state and in that brainwave. There is obviously risks to it as well, so there is a lot of energies out there that will try to take advantage of people that maybe don't know what they're doing. But also, you are divinely protected. So as long as you always just set your intention before you want to go and maybe try that, just set your intention, that I ask for whatever you believe, the universe, spirit, God. I've got an itch on my face. It's going really red. Can you see? I've got an itch there. Whether you ask for God, whether you ask for Archangel Michael, whether you ask for your spirit guides, your spirit team, your higher self, whatever your belief is, to protect you, to guide you through this astral projection that you're wanting to do. And just once you set that belief, you set that intention, it will be so. But again, it's not something we should be doing all the time. It's a little bit like, it's a little bit like if you eat too many cakes, you get bored of the cake. If you have too much of something, you get bored of it. So if you have too much astral projection, you'll just get a little bit kind of like, you kind of like get a bit fed up with it. And it's something that's quite magical and needs to be approached with respect, and just respecting that what we're going through. I hate that falling feeling, says AC. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? It's a weird thing. I don't really get it as much now, but I did used to for a long time. Willie Carmen, hello. You're welcome, Laura. I'm glad it helped you with your question. So what else have we got here? So we've got Bronzite. Can you help me? I will certainly try. Again, we've got another. I think this one's Obsidian. Obsidian with money. I can try. I think we've all got money blocks on some level. That's snow quartz. Libyan desert glass. Very, very powerful. I can't even remember what that one is. I do not remember. This is a piece of malachite that I used when I had sort of like a lot of like blocks in life, and I didn't know a direction to take. I was going through sort of like redundancy and things like that, and I was out of work and I was a little bit worried. So, and I was experiencing pain and things in my lower joints, and that's usually a sign of that you're not very grounded. You need to shift that energy in your limbs and move through that. Thank you, AC. So I use this. I meditated with malachite. This has actually been through the washing machine, so it's not as shiny as it should be. And I meditated with it. I just placed it on my knees, on my ankles, and within like a few days, and it shifted all that, and then a new opportunity opened up. So that's how powerful that is for shifting. So if you're feeling a little bit blocked in life, you don't know the direction to take, you don't know what to do, you're a little bit kind of like, well, why has that happened? I need to get past this junction in my life. I need to be able to feel more supported within myself moving forward with this. Malachite is a really, really great one for doing that. It's also very good, if you've got a lot of maybe energy that's not flowing quite as well and you get pain in various areas of the body, just placing malachite on those areas, maybe in a Reiki session or just meditating with the malachite as well, will help to open those energy pathways and just allow the stimulus of that energy to move through your body. What's something you like about Islam? Any teachings? I don't really know much about Islam as such. Don't know much about it at all. To be honest, I don't really follow any. I don't really follow any sort of like religion, or anything like that. I follow more belief systems rather than a religious system, and I don't feel like I need to just be within within one sector of belief. I think what spirituality teaches is to look beyond that and to find a deeper meaning within, and finding that consciousness within. Ashton Helms, yo bro, Jay's wanting to tell you that Jesus loves you and that he died for you on that cross. Thank you, Jesus. Jesus lives within each and every one of us. So thank you. Ian Holmes, hi mate. Hi Ian Holmes. Jabez Akins, can binaural beat waves lead to lucid dreams and astral projection? They can. I think it more depends on you as an individual. Are you relaxed enough in mind? Are you at peace enough in the mind? So there's a lot of different things that we have to think about internally within ourselves, where we're at mentally and emotionally, to allow that stuff to take place. If we're not relaxed in the mind, we're not going to go into like that deep state that you need to be in. You might just be gravitating around maybe alpha-ish, maybe around about there, but not going into the deep sort of beta, gamma, theta, the theta gamma states. So yeah, it really depends on you as the individual. But binaural beats, they're all right. I mean, I do listen to binaural beats, but I don't listen to them that much. Only every now and again. I really like, if I wanted to go really deep in my meditation, or if I wanted to do anything like that, I would probably listen to something like singing bowls, ASMR, something like that. Something that makes my vibration go, oh, that's just bloody lovely. That's really nice. When you get that little tingly feeling around your body and it's just shifting your energy. That's what I would probably personally listen to if I want to do that. So I'm atheist. I like to follow some teachings, but not all of them. I saw an symbol like that on a very expensive Carlos Santana PRS electric guitar. Yes, Carlos Santana is very, very spiritual, very connected. He's a brilliant guitarist. Follow a lot of his music. I've played a lot of his music in the past as well. I'm a guitarist as well. Yeah, really, really great. He was really good on a couple of shows. There was the Life of Riley, which is about the story of B.B. King. So Carlos Santana's on that a couple of times. And also Man of the World about Peter Green. He's in that as well. So Peter Green and Carlos Santana were very, very closely connected as well. So I like Islam for its discipline that it teaches, and Christianity because it teaches how to love and form a connection. They all kind of, for me, they're all teaching the same thing. They're all teaching us to have love, to have connection, but they're also all teaching us to have discipline. So in Christianity, looking for discipline within that is the discipline with the self-work of going within, and that comes from meditation practice. It comes from the actual aspect of loving somebody else and caring for somebody else and showing compassion. That in itself is a very, very powerful discipline, because the majority of people are so wrapped up in hate and anger and worry and all this sort of stuff that they're not ready to accept that. So being able to accept love and connection and compassion is a discipline within itself. And that's very much like, in the Islam culture as well, where it's working with that discipline, working with the light that it works with. I've trained a few people in Reiki that have been Islam over the years. But yeah, I'm not massively up on Islam, but I know like a lot of aspects of it do just follow, a lot of the Christian beliefs, the stories from the Bible, they all cross over. They all just have different names, and the celebrations and things like Easter, that crosses over into Hinduism. It crosses over into all the other, so they're all following the same journey. And ultimately, the journey is trying to lead us back to ourselves. It's trying to lead us back to us, to self-realization, to self-awakening, and to knowing that everything is here within us. Not bowing to an idol or a god, but understanding that we're already all of that anyway. So it's very, very esoteric when you get into the deeper teachings of kind of like Jesus, the Buddha. When you go down more those sort of lines, it's very, very esoteric. You should play for us sometimes. I will play for you sometime. The thing is, a lot of people will ask for mute songs that I don't know, because I don't really play like modern music. I kind of like old school music. Music is very healing, very healing. And we have music within us. We can make the Om sound. We can sing. We can talk. We can laugh. That vibration that we can create from our own being is healing. It's healing ourselves, and even the things that we say to ourselves, the things that we say to other people, it's all very, very healing. So everything is already here. Everything that we need, that vibration, that frequency, is already here within us. I'm atheist but follow many teachings in Buddhism. Yeah, I think there's more and more people that are moving towards Buddhism, because it's a set of belief systems rather than a structure of beliefs that you have to follow, or you have to be religiously or rigorously kind of within on some level. But I wouldn't say I'm not atheist or anything like that. I do believe that there is a higher power. I do believe that there is a force behind everything. I don't think of it as a bearded man in the clouds, but there is an ultimate force of an energy force that is behind everything, and we're ultimately a part of that energy. And whatever we're vibrating at, we magnetize that towards us. And when we shift our vibration, some of that stuff moves away and we attract others. So it's the whole universe, the whole God thing it's all about your vibrational state, your divine sovereign being, and wherever you're at, really. But I do believe that there is. I was thinking about this yesterday. It's just if somebody questioned, if somebody's said, not disrespect anybody, but if somebody said well, there is no such thing as a God, then you got to look at things such as, okay, so what makes you think? And when you think, where does that thought go? And when you talk and when you pray, where does that go? And why does it happen? Why does it come about? Why do you create it? How do people manifest? And it's all because there's a frequency, there's an energetic vibration that we're resonating with. If it doesn't come, if it doesn't happen, then there's something within our energy that's blocking it, that's stopping it. Like I mentioned to somebody else earlier on, where people have, they'll have money blocks, they'll have self-belief blocks, they'll have confidence blocks, and it's all because of whatever vibrational state we're at. And we're all moving through different frequencies all the time. And I mentioned this in a live not so long ago, that I was talking about chakras, and our chakras are never always, our energy system is never always perfectly aligned. It's always fluctuating. It's always going in and out and moving and evolving and taking you into different places. And because every interaction, every every conversation, every every argument, whatever it might be, it's affecting you on an energetic level that people don't tend to think about, and that's what's going on behind. That's the God energy, the universal force. Thoughts don't come and go anywhere. Thoughts are only in your head. There is no we. Well, there is only one. So it's a really great point to bring up that actually. But the fact that you say that thoughts don't go anywhere. So here's a few examples. So, and this really kind of like gives credence to the fact that we are all connected on some level. Is probably, was it last year? And I mean, this happens quite a lot for me, but last year in particularly, I was just randomly thinking of somebody that I used to work with in my 20s, and I thought, I wonder how they're getting on. I wonder how they are. It'd be really nice to see if I could catch up with them. And I tried to find, I couldn't remember the surname. I knew the first name, but I couldn't remember the surname. I thought, I'll see if I can find them on Facebook, but I just couldn't find them. And I hadn't seen this guy that I used to work with for over 20 years. So it'd been a long, long time. And then the next day, they walk into the place that I was working in. And I was just like, whoa. So, you know, your thought is going somewhere. It's not all just in the head. You know, there is an aspect. Some of it is just in the head, but you know, if you've got like anxiety, like I used to have, a lot of it is just in the head. It's the chatter. But when you quieten that down, there's a quieter, more subtle voice, which is, it's your soul, it's your spirit, it's your higher self. It's that connection to everything. When you say we, you're only speaking of the human being, you're not speaking of the giraffe, the cockroach, or the dolphin. I do love you, bro. I love you too. Rick Knight, hi. But yeah, but I mean, that's an aspect, we are an aspect of everything. So when you have this belief system, you know, when you follow a lot of Buddhist beliefs as well, this is why you don't cause harm. This is why you don't kill anything, is because you realize that actually the cockroach, the fly, the spider, the tree, the dolphin, the giraffe, every aspect of life and nature is an aspect of you. So if you kill something, you're killing an aspect of yourself. So we are all connected. Whether you believe that or not, that's my belief. Again, in a few years' time, it might change, but because we're always evolving, we're always moving into different frequencies. So we are always shifting and evolving. Yeah, the synchronicities were mad, really, really mad. Don't leave out the giraffe, the cockroach, and no, I'll never leave out the cockroach and the dolphin, or the giraffe, or the elephant, or whatever else. I honestly believe that our thoughts are capable of many things as we think it's possible to project them for good or bad. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we are so interconnected. But yeah, your thoughts alone, you know, it takes you into a little bit, you know, if you start thinking of bad thoughts or want to do negative things to people, then it puts you into a negative place, a negative mindset. Then we start going into the realms of karma, of karmic debt. where you're wishing bad on somebody, so it's going to come back to you. And I do firmly believe that does happen. You're into evolution, that we came out of orangutan and gorillas. Yeah, I suppose there's an aspect of that. I don't really think that. I think we've evolved somewhere, but personally, I think we've been engineered on some level. But that's just my thoughts. But there is a lot of people that kind of like, if you look at Paul Wallace's YouTube channel, he looks a lot into hybridization and things like that from other beings, let's say. So, yeah. It makes you think as well. When we've had all of this stuff that's been built, all these huge structures, and a lot of people talk about like Tataria, with these magnificent buildings and structures, and you look at what we've got now and you think, well, what we've got now is shit compared to what they made then. So where did that go? What happened then? You look at things like the pyramids. There's this huge thing about the pyramids. How did they get built? And if you look to the maths of how the pyramids are made, it's 432,000 tons, which is the frequency of the Earth. So its Earth frequency is 432 hertz. So that's a little bit coincidental that sort of like marries up. And a lot of the figures, the constellations, the connection to the Earth, the universe, there's a lot of that sort of stuff that nobody really has the answer. I certainly don't have the answer. But when I look at things, I just think, well, why is that number the same as the Earth frequency? And why is that connected to that? And why does that point at that? So, yeah, I don't think it's, I certainly don't have the answers, but I think there was a lot more knowledge then and it's been kind of like removed on some level than what we have, now, for sure. Alphalion, people believe one life and you're gone, but we are all energy, and the consciousness never dies. Energy just transforms onto a physical form. I was just talking about this the other day because I was watching a podcast with Brian Cox, the physicist, and they were talking about energy. They were talking about the afterlife and this, that, and the other, and he believes that once this physical form dies, that's it, because your physical form is the actual carrier of your energy. But in spirituality, we believe it's the other way around. It's the energy that is actually the force taking the physical form. The physical form is just your meat suit to carry your energy to play out your divine work. But a lot of what he was saying and a lot of what he was talking about, it was so close to what we talk about in spirituality, and you could feel there was almost like a resistance for him to like go there. When you were watching him, you could see there was a bit of an awkwardness there, because it was just teetering on the edges of spirituality, and that's how close all this really is, how it intermingles. It really does. Laura, thank you for your insight. Ian, can't wait to hear you play sometime. Love to you all. Love to you, Laura. Thank you for being here, as once again. Remember, within countless random chances, there can be one single perfect alignment. I think that's why we exist. That's a really nice way of saying it, actually. That's really beautiful. AC's doing the work in the background there. Thank you, AC. Yeah, so what was I? Oh, so I was talking about crystals, wasn't I? Yeah, we went off on a tangent. Yeah, so what was I talking? I was talking about crystals before, and I was up to a certain point, and I went off. Oh, I was talking about shungite, and then and then I kind of like got lost. Shungite, obsidian. Oh, then I talked about the malachite and the energy healing that the malachite did. So next crystal, I've got another piece of carnelian. That's that there. And then this one, I was really drawn to this one. This is quite an interesting one. This is known as cat's eye, and like when I bought it from the shop, the woman had no idea what it was or what it does. And so I sat down with it and I thought, right, you know what, I'm going to meditate with it and I'll find out what it does and I'll let her know. Because I was getting to a point when I was working with these crystals that I was visualizing and I was seeing what they were going to do and how they were going to support me and how they were going to help other people. So I thought, right, I'll sit down, I'll meditate with it. And when I sat with it, it just felt like I was being scanned, and what it was doing was scanning my energy, and it was shifting, clearing, cleansing, and I think that's why it's called the cat's eye, because it was like just observing and looking over what I needed to work on. So I found that quite interesting, but I actually felt a shift and I felt a lift. I felt a lift in my energy from that crystal as well. So yeah, so I just found it really interesting. And like I say, I don't use them as much now, but I will be using some later for some Reiki healing for a couple of clients later on today. So you have tiger's eye. Never heard of cat's eye. I hadn't heard of it either until I saw it, and I thought, oh, that's a nice vibrant piece. What's that? And it just jumped out to me, so I thought I'll get it, see what it's all about. But like I say, I'll give it a go and see what it's all about. Do you listen to any philosophers? I listen to different stuff. Yeah, I listen to stuff across the board, really. I do like to listen to some philosophical stuff. It just helps you to look a little bit deeper. But again, I kind of like look at things from an openness. I don't look at things from like a set belief of what they've said. And what I tend to do is I'll listen to somebody, I'll listen to what they say, I'll listen to what they believe, and then I'll go away with it. I'll see what part of it resonates with me, and whatever part resonates with me, I'll hold on to and I'll use that, and I'll go with it, and I'll see what it feels, see what it brings up, and what doesn't resonate with me, I just let go. And because I think we can be too controlled by what a lot of other people do say. So that's why what I say on here is just, I always say it's just where I'm at currently. It's my belief system currently. And within weeks, months and years, it will change, it will alter, because we're always changing and evolving spiritually, energetically, emotionally, and physically as well. Yeah, absolutely. I think you just got to take things with a pinch of salt, really. People get so upset, and so people can sometimes get so irate or annoyed that somebody doesn't believe a certain thing, or they don't follow this, or they don't listen to that. And you just think, well, I follow my intuition. I follow what I feel. I follow what feels right to me. But like I say, we're constantly evolving and changing, so that's always going to change and evolve as you do as well. there's a lot of stuff that I used to say in my videos years ago, which I don't agree with what I said then as what I do now. It's not that it was wrong, because there is no right or wrong. There's just indifference. Again, if you have an openness and an acceptance to that, you're then not sort of like held down by one thing, by one fault, by one belief. You're just open to whatever. Most people see things with a balanced view when they experience hard, uncontrollable times for themselves. So what made you be like this? Well, hard and uncomfortable times, basically. A lot of addiction, a lot of issues with myself, self-confidence, self-belief, depression, anxiety, not being very happy, not having a lot of belief in myself, not knowing who I was, following the crowd. And then finally realizing that, I am me. I can follow my path and not give a shit what somebody else thinks about it. And if somebody resonates with that and they want it, empowers them, it makes them feel good that they can change their life, they can change their mindset, they can do things to become a better person and to be able to help the world in some level, then surely that's a positive thing. But that's just in my eyes. Some people might disagree with that. I don't know, but that's for them. But it took a lot of years of work, of self-work, of self-healing, a lot of meditation, a lot of hours, a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of strange interactions with different energies and beings and things to realize that there's so much more than just this. There is so much more. But then when you start to expand your consciousness into the realms of that, you're then moving into that. You start to become a little bit more sensitive to that is around you, the energy that's around you, and that happens. When I was kind of like going through my mental health years, I was very, very aware then that a lot of stuff that people were carrying, a lot of emotion, a lot of negativity, I was quite, I could feel a lot of that, and that's what I was picking up on. So that was something that I had to work on to be able to sort of separate myself from that and not be so attached to it. Sonia, welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you? So yes, I hope that helps answer your question, Channa. But yeah, I still work through stuff now. I'm not perfect by any means. I still have issues with my image, with my body. Self-confidence. I still don't have very good confidence. I'm quite introvert. I don't really like being out in busy places. And I love being in nature, and yeah, if one of the things about the YouTube lives as well that's helped me with me is that there is a lot of people that will come on here that will disagree and maybe say something derogatory towards me, or people call me like, on live, they called me like a faggot or this, and even in like in the work world, people have called me that. Places that I used to work, where the customers had come in and I've had to like kick them out, and they've called me like names or whatever, and that that part of that, it kind of like it hurts a little bit, but through exposure, through awareness of it, you actually think, well, that's where they're at. You just kind of like, you have to just send them your blessings, you have to send them your love, and just let it go and not let it affect you, and just know that who you are is who you are, and you're a beautiful soul trying to support and help your friends, your family, your loved ones, yourself, and you're doing it for you, you're doing it for what you believe is the right, you're doing it for the right reasons. Sonia's all good. Just got back from town. Jolly good. Absolutely love that I found this channel. Nice meeting you. See you. Thank you, Shannon. Thank you for being here. Hope you've subscribed. And I'll hopefully see you in another live or another video very, very soon. So thank you for being here. Yeah, but I've been on for over an hour now. How the time flies. Time really flies when you get into the midst of things, into a nice deep conversation. So I'm going to have to depart shortly because I want to go and sort myself some lunch, and then I've got 2 distant clients this afternoon, it's actually 2 people that have won some Reiki, so I'm doing their Reiki today for them, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So we've had some really, really good insights. We've had some really, really good conversation. We've had some really interesting people in the chat today with different opinions, different views. Everyone's entitled to their own opinions and their own views. You know, we're all learning from whatever path we're learning from. We're all individual. You know, and there is no, like I said before, there is no right or wrong. So yeah. So I hope you've enjoyed this chat and this discussion today about crystals. I didn't really get as deep into it as what I would have liked to have, because we got kind of like sidetracked with different questions. And a quick aside, was watching your Sunday live, and your birthday is the day after mine. I'm just quite a few years ahead of you. Oh, so you're the 5th. Oh, hello, fellow Gemini. It's lovely to meet another Gemini. Yeah, because I was talking about me and my brother, wasn't I? Because we're both Gemini. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. So if you've enjoyed this live, if you've enjoyed this chat, 3rd. Okay, dokie, 3rd. Actually, it's funny you should say that, because when I was looking at my my astrological stuff, and for the person who should have been born on the 4th, only some of it really connects with me. But if I'd been born on the 3rd, that would have been me down to a T. So I often think, should I have been born on the 3rd, or was I a little bit late? I should ask my mum, really. I should really ask my mother to find out. Yeah, well, interesting. Like astrology, the whole connection, the stars, the universe. Sonia's got Tiger's Eye on. Excellent. Have a great day. You too. Have a beautiful day. And it's very interesting, AC. Very interesting, yeah. Right, so I'm going to head off. So please do subscribe if you've enjoyed this chat today. It's been covering all sorts of different subjects. But yeah, please do subscribe to the channel. Give this video a thumbs up if you see it on the playback. And check out my channel. You can join the membership. You can get early access to the videos that are coming up over the next month. And thank you, AC, for being my moderator today and controlling the riff-raff and being the bouncer. So, so thank you so much for that. And see us all again soon. So have a beautiful day wherever you are. Beautiful day, evening, afternoon. And much love. Do take care. Namaste. Bye.